Whether you own a small business or manage one, you know that the customer experience isn't just another thing. It's the only thing. Angel Tussey and Eric Raymer know it too, and they're starting a revolution in how people treat people in business. They're here to help you get your business right. And now, it's time for Experience Pros with Angel and Eric.
Hey, welcome to the Experience Pros with Angel and Eric, the most positive business talk show in America where small business is big business and your business is our business.
We've got a great show for you today. In our Fan Bragging segment, we'll hear about a lawman who prefers handing out cash over tickets. Then we'll test the theory that nothing's cuter than puppies or kids. And when it comes to finding solid business advice, one of those groups has an opinion.
We'll also chat with John Vahalik, the CEO of Webolutions, and one of the key inspirations for our own business right here at Experience Pros. And if you've never heard of a budgetologist, you'll definitely want to meet Felicia Jones of Keep Up with Mrs. Jones.
And finally, we'll get our paint on with Jackie Cox. What happens when you give Eric a wine glass and a paintbrush? Stay tuned.
It's first time, though, for our viewer mail, and one viewer wrote this in. Says, Dear Angel and Eric, I've got a new client, and I'm super happy to help them grow their business. My problem is they seem to want my attention, all of it. They call me at the office, they call me on my cell, they email me and text me, and I simply cannot handle all the requests to call them back. What do I do? Signed, Stalked in St. Louis.
Oh, which is pretty exciting, right? You signed up a new client,
Woo-hoo.
But they've started making unreasonable demands on your time. They've already phoned you 5 times, and it's Saturday, for heaven's sake.
Right.
Do you A, tell them to go jump in a lake and stop bothering you?
Or B, ignore the calls. They can call on Monday if they really want to talk to you.
C, agree to everything they want. The customer is always right.
Oh, yeah? Or D, appeal to their higher sensibilities and say, hey, look, I know you're really enthusiastic about this project. Me too, by the way. But Saturday's the only day I get to spend with my family. So we're going to have to pick this one up again on Monday. I know that as a family man or woman yourself, you'll understand. Besides, my wife, husband, significant other will kill me if I don't stop working weekends all the time. What do you do?
All right. So I think there's a lot of times where you wish you could just tell them to go away, right? Bugger off. But we can't say that. Can we?
I don't think you can say that.
Oh, we can't say that. We can't say that. All right.
We're sorry to all the English-speaking people.
Or ignore them, which is often what I end up doing over, off times, evenings and weekends. That's my family time.
Right.
So I typically put my phone away. But there are still times where it does get to be a little obsessive and people still get in.
I've tried to call you on the weekends. It's not very successful for me, but it's one of those things. And Angel, I think you've actually handled it very well. I'm a single guy. I don't have a lot of commitments, and so if somebody wants to call on me on a weekend, I'll probably take that call because I'm hungry for anything, any kind of activity and social stimulation, if you will. You, however, you do have a family, and they're home, and they're, you want to spend that time and guard that time for the purposes of blocking out that time. And you've made it very easy by telling everybody, this is family time, and I deal with business during business hours.
Right? You have to set your own boundaries.
Right.
Nobody else is going to do that for you. Nobody else is going to respect your time.
And then B, you do something that I simply don't know how to do, and you ditch your phone.
It's so easy, Eric. You just take it.
I'm breaking out in hives already.
And put it over there. You can do it. You can do it. Now, Eric's one of those. He sleeps with his phone, right? You have it with you constantly.
I do.
It's always near you. And
well, I also have a very elderly father who is not in the best of health, and you never know when that call could come.
You're going to pull the elderly father. Okay, well, you can't use that anymore today. Right? No more. Okay, here's the thing. I think we all think, well, some emergency is going to come in, and even with a client, we always think, well, we want to be there for our clients. That's great customer service, right?
I'm all over that.
Except the industry that we're in is very unlikely that their marketing and their messaging and their visibility is an emergency that has to be handled on a Saturday afternoon.
You have no idea how many people have called me and told me, I need my advertisement changed and I need you to change it right now. We're not even on the air in the weekend.
I'm sure, and I'm sure that they call, and they do call. But here's the thing. As long as you're available, they will continue to call because you haven't set any boundaries. You're saying your time is not valuable. It's okay to take advantage of it. This is what you're saying.
I don't remember saying any of that. I think that my time is very valuable.
Do you ever take calls and have conversations with clients after 10 p.m.?
I try not to.
You try not to. How do you try not to? What
It
are you
depends
doing
on
to
who's
try?
calling.
Oh, yeah. All right. So I think letting people
If she's
know.
cute.
What do you mean if she's cute? This is not your dating service.
I'm not saying that it was, but I'm just trying to come up with a theory of why I would take a call.
You just take the call because you keep your phone on you all the time, and Eric never wants to miss the party, which is okay, right? You want to be available, and if maybe weekends you are available. I know a lot in the real estate industry, right? The weekends are their hottest times, and maybe the weekends are your time. But here's the thing, you need to set some boundaries for yourself, especially as an entrepreneur. If you're wearing all the hats in your business and you don't set those boundaries, then other people are going to fill your calendar, fill your time. And in the beginning, it's kind of exciting, right? To know that, okay, I'm busy, I'm building my business, this is the season that I'm always available. But at some point, you're going to have to separate yourself from all those activities because you maybe want to take a vacation, take a sick day, just take some time off and do something that isn't business related.
I think that we should also address the elephant in the room as it comes to this particular viewer's email.
What elephant?
Well, you see, sometimes familiarity crosses the line. Your clients are not necessarily intended to be your BFF. And I think that's another issue here.
Okay,
if somebody's calling and wants you to spend personal time, and they're texting you, and they're emailing you, and they're calling you over and over and over again, you said the word boundaries, which kind of got me thinking, maybe we need some personal boundaries and some professional boundaries to say, I'll be very friendly with you, but I'm not necessarily going to go out for drinks or party with you.
You don't even have to say that, Eric. Just decline the invitation. Just decline the invitation. You're just not available.
What if she's cute?
If she's cute. Every day, if she's cute.
I just want to know.
Every day. It's a matter of if she's cute.
For years, and no one has ever called.
Do you know how unprofessional that is?
Oh, I'm just teasing.
Do you know how unprofessional that is?
Yes, I do know how unprofessional it is. It's an HR nightmare. Make sure it doesn't happen in your office. All right. It's time for the segment that we like to call Fan Bragging. And Fan Bragging is where we intentionally take the time to recognize acts of kindness in business, or in this case today, in life. The focus of our Fan Bragging story today is right out of the headlines in Monroe County, Georgia. What happens when you mix an anonymous businessman with local law enforcement?
Ooh, this could be intriguing, right? We all know it's nerve-wracking when you get pulled over by a police officer, right? It doesn't matter if you've really broke the law. You just get so nervous.
That's what I've heard.
Right? Yet just a short time ago, that's exactly what happened for 54 Georgia motorists. Each one was told that they had a broken taillight.
Oh.
Right?
That's a lot of broken taillights.
You better get yours checked.
Yeah.
And deputies then asked for their license and registration. I mean, it was like they really were pulled over.
However, instead of receiving a ticket, each of these 54 drivers instead received a C note, a Benjamin, 100 smackaroos, all thanks to the kindness and generosity of an anonymous businessman who simply wanted to be a blessing.
Oh my gosh, how fun. So here it is, you think you're getting pulled over, and instead you're given cash.
Absolutely.
So we take this time to fan brag about someone in business who really has a heart, and to the Monroe County Sheriff's Department who made it all happen. Somewhere out there, 54 lives were touched.
Yeah,
and
I'm sure they were touched. They need a little Xanax or something like that now.
No, right? You get really nervous that you're getting pulled over, right? And while $100 isn't going to change anyone's life, you just never know how that intentional act of kindness might just be the domino that starts a chain reaction of even more kindness. Think about this, that if somebody does something nice for you, if you're having just an off day, And getting pulled over by the police would trigger an off day, right?
Sure.
Right? You're having an off day. Other things have happened. The kids spilt their milk. One couldn't find their shoe when it's time to get out the door. You're late for a meeting. You run out of gas. You didn't stop at the ATM. I mean, life happens, right?
Yeah.
And somebody does something kind for you. Opens the door, holds the door open, a pay it forward at a coffee shop or the drive-through. That act of kindness. So you might be on this trajectory for having a really awful day.
Right.
Right? And somebody's act of kindness, something so simple, changes that. And so think about then the next place each one of those 54 drivers ended up. They went to work. Maybe they went and they were dropping their kid off at preschool and they were, and they were tugging at, Mommy, I don't want you to go. They weren't in a bad mood anymore.
Right. It absolutely affects the mood. And I think that's the essence and the heart of the concept of fan bragging. In my perfect world, I would love the word fan bragging to be synonymous with paying it forward, doing an act of kindness intentionally with a specific business intent. And of course, nobody ever questions the customer service of a county or a state police officer. It's a great story. And if you have a fan bragging story that you'd like to share with us, please don't hesitate to use #FanBrag. It's #FanBrag. And let us know either on Twitter or Facebook who's getting it right in business. Who knows? Maybe we'll add your fan bragging story to this program right here.
When we return, Eric and I ask the hard questions of the business owners of the future.
If you could be the boss, what would you do differently than all the other bosses?
Give people 30-minute breaks.
And still ahead, we talk about experience marketing with expert John Bahalik.
Brand is really a memory bank that gets created over time.
Stay with us.